So this will be video 3. I just want to talk quickly about circles and creating boundaries, respect. When you're enlightening, it's really important. This is the key one within the topic that I just mentioned, is this: loving yourself and respecting yourself. And, spending some time, and I did this, and this is when I really first felt different in meditation. And I was engaging in some reading and some topics about how you could self-heal, make yourself feel better, connecting more with God. And the topic was about spirituality, opening your third eye and whatnot. And at this time in my life, I was in a difficult spot, but I couldn't sleep much, and I'd be thinking on these topics often. I was well on my sober journey, so I wasn't drinking anymore, and I wasn't able to numb the pain and things I had to address, and I was going through some stuff. So one of the concepts that I came across, not only the words, affirmations, we talked about keeping a positive mindset, having an open mind, recognizing that all the information out there, there's a lot of it, so you should not believe me and be the discerner of your own truth. Look out at all the information, meditate, look inward within your own self, you'll connect, and then you'll be able to discern the truth for yourself. And in doing this process, loving yourself is really important, not to the point of sin. It's not a sin to love yourself as much as God loves himself or herself. And God is a word I use, which is universal, and there's names. I don't use names. In the very early beginning, I stopped using names. I've come to some names, but I pray to the essence of what things are. In the beginning, when I started praying and meditating, I said, I'm ignorant here. I don't know everything. I know there's a creator. There must be. And I pray to the essence of all great and good things with good intentions. And I'm a believer in light and good and bad, and I believe in those things. So I pray to those and ask for your help and connection. And I love myself, and I would say that. I didn't mean it though, right? I had to really find out in meditation, what are the things I love about myself? I do love that I am honest to a fault. I do love that I'm kind to a fault. I overextend myself, and it often would hurt me. There's a lot of things in my life I was proud of. I am proud of. I have 7 gorgeous, beautiful children who are very smart in their own ways. They're funny, they're talented, all in their own different ways. And, they're a good family unit. And I at this point in this conversation, I don't have a lot of contact with them at all, so I don't know how they're doing. And I pray that they are every day doing well. And it's just due to some tough situation personally, and I don't think that's what this video is about. So at the time, I was really proud of these things in my life. I built a life. I had 7 beautiful children. There's a lot of things to be proud of. So I found a way to really just connect with the things that I felt proud about and love myself, and really just keep those in the forefront of my brain. And those are the things I was marching towards. In meditation, I would pray that I love myself, and then I'd ask to connect with the essence of God and to spiritually guide me. And I would also say that I respect myself, because that was one of the things I came across. We need to respect ourselves. So in saying it and doing it are 2 different things. And then through self-healing and self-realization, I found that a lot of the situations I was putting myself in were self-inflicted. In other words, people I truly love and I still love, but they weren't thinking like me. They weren't seeing the pain to the degree it was causing me. And their good intentions of words weren't helping. They were making it worse for me at the time. And the story plays out like that a little bit, because I still am what some people call a hermit. I'm out and about. I love life, and I love people. I interact with people all the time. I don't have anybody in my Rolodex right now that I call frequently or anything like that. And that's not because of the people I love. There's anything wrong with them. I love all the relationships I've had in my life. I've been burned so much that it's hard for me to pick up the phone. So I wait for life to evolve in a different way and see how that goes for me. And all indication is it will go fine, and I'll be fine. And I am very content with myself. And that's what video is all about. Because when you're going through something like this, and you're starting to say, well, I'm looking around, I'm not seeing the things I love in others that are good intention, maybe, sometimes not good intention, and it's not helping me. So I have to get comfortable with being independent in thought, independent in healing myself, independent in time spent. It could be lonely in the beginning and throughout, and then you get comfortable with understanding that relationships are gifts, and when we are surrounded by the right people, they help lift us up, and in the right situations help lift us up. And when we're going through very traumatic, and I've been through very severely traumatic stuff that put me in this situation, you have to get comfortable with saying the only way out of this is to fix myself. And to fix myself by loving myself and respecting myself, I cannot put myself in situations that have the possibility of hurting me right now or triggering me in a bad thought. So for a long period of time, I've been on that path, and I'm not on that path anymore. I'm not on that path anymore, but I had to be for a long time. And in doing so and protecting myself and my thoughts and my energy, that's one of the keys to help you in enlightenment, because we want our group of people who we love currently in that moment to come with us. So I immediately had started talking, and it's scary to talk about some of these topics that are not, they're not the norm. They're not the society's normal topics. What'd you do last night? I meditated. I had this great vision and it came true. What? I went outside in nature. Did you guys see what I just saw? And people weren't even looking. And then I have a video of it and they didn't even see it. And it's right in front of us. And I'm like, you didn't see it? Okay. I saw it. I was looking, and I've seen some stuff that should be the front page of the news, and it's right there, and it's right here, and it's right, and yeah, and I will share some of that, but it's more important to believe right now, because that's it. Believe in the unseen. God said, when you see me, I see you. Look for God. When you look for God, look within first. Close your eyes. God breathes breath into us. Breath is God. Take a slow breath in. When you start taking slow breaths in silence and you quiet your thoughts, you say, come in a voice, hey, I'm here. You're going to feel peaceful. You're going to feel the presence of calmness, which you can say is God. And as you go further and further on, you're going to find ways that connect that you're really going to be blown away by. And there's many others that can share these stories as well. So drawing these circles and respecting yourself, saying, I love myself so much I can't put myself in these situations until things are fixed for myself and for others. Because I tried to dabble back in and I found it was slowing me down, and then more stuff happened to me, so it got worse. Like when you didn't think, the shit pie was going to taste any worse, it got worse. And I was like, oh God, and they didn't bury me in the ground far enough. They had to keep digging the hole and just piling on the dirt. That's what it felt like. And it's like, why now? I thought I was getting better. And that's life. And all these difficult circumstances, as I mentioned in another video, I think, where you're going to come out of it stronger. You're going to come out of it smarter. When you tackle the emotions, you're going to come out of it being able to not react to your emotions so quickly. I was very emotional years ago, and I still could be at times, but not anymore. My emotions are more checked. I do feel quite a bit. I have deep empathy, and I can cry from a movie, and I can connect to the movie and be like, oh, that's sad, but even beyond that, imagine how I connect to people if I'm connecting to a movie. So people's energies really are important to me, and I see myself as wanting to step into those shoes of the life that's righteous, like the one that we read about in many different examples of stories, and one main character that we've heard of is Jesus, right? And there's other people and other stories. People put themselves out there to make the world a better place after they fix themselves and connect more spiritually. And so, yeah, I said, well, that seems like the most important thing to be doing around here. I'm going to do that. So I'm doing it. And I've been doing it. And I'm here to talk about it. Like I said, I could have been silent and just been fine by myself, because I do feel good, and I feel good by myself, and I feel good and confident that I'll find the right, way of life. And my relationships will be great when they are, and where they are, and with the people I had in my life and the people I have in my life, whatever. I'm not worried about those things as much. The point being, you got to take time to yourself and get comfortable with yourself. I battled lust. I had a lust addiction, where I thought I needed to be in a relationship, and I let that one run my body and my thoughts. I don't feel that way right now. Of course, I love romance. I love to be in a relationship, but it's not at the forefront of my brain, which it was for a long time, all my life. I want a relationship. I want to, there's sexual desires, of course, right? And there's things like that, but you learn to overcome these things and still keep them within the human body that you are, but not be so lustful. And that's, being able to understand them and control them from the heart rather than from, a feeling. It's only just a feeling. And don't want to go, but that's true, right? And it's a little embarrassing to talk about that one, but that's true. And that's a real thing, and the world is built around that topic. So, it's not surprising that a lot of us get stuck there. But to evolve, to spend time and making sure you have the right people around you, you're living in the right place, you're working in the right place. We have decisions. We have to make difficult decisions to make this happen sometimes. Having the courage to say, you know what, I'm going to do some things for myself. I'm going to spend some time by myself. I'm not going to go to that event. I'm not going to go seek out this thing. I'm going to spend some time on my own right now. It's important to do that, and you can balance that and do it differently than I did, and I think still be super effective. If you have the right community and people around you that are thinking like this, then of course. So this topic is, again, about just drawing boundaries on relationships and remembering you have decisions that you own, and you have free will to make them. Don't be bullied into somebody who's, intimidating for whatever reason, into saying, go do this the wrong way or look the other way, and don't say, no, that's wrong of them to do. It's completely wrong of them to do. I've been put in a system where I've seen this in all the systems. I live in Long Island, New York, in Nassau County. And, I've had a job in Nassau County, and I've been put through the system as of recently in Nassau County. And I can tell you for certain, people are trying to intimidate and control. And that has to stop. It has to stop. I'm not the only person that's a victim of this abuse and brutality. That has to stop. Families in family court are being destroyed. It's impacting children. That has to stop for the children. People are going to jail for petty crimes or crimes not committed because of intimidation and fear that can be presented by people who want to control. That's got to stop. That cannot go on anymore. That's one county, but I travel. It goes on everywhere. So it's not just an isolated town, county, geographic area. We're talking about widespread injustice, manipulation, and lies. And that just needs to stop. So instead of fighting it, I would call for us to do this. God is very powerful. Instead of getting the bullhorn or creating a riot, or going out and protest, take some time Go in, put your heart and soul into silent prayer. Call in God, call in the angels, in the unseen world. Let them know you're committed to good and great and doing things the right way. And you pray for their support and help in the universe to help put an end to corruption, to put an end to destruction of families due to poorly designed systems. You put an end to lives impacted by unjust incarceration system or law system that might exist. Now, I'm stopping short of saying names here. I'm talking about a widespread, systematic problem that we can all recognize, and I'm not the only person talking about it. And I'm also saying, let's not fight it. Let's, number one, recognize it. Let's not blame anybody for it. Let's not call the person a bully. Let's give these people a chance to recognize the call from God is to wake up, enlighten, and do the right thing, always. Because the world is evolving, and there's a lot of prophecies out there and biblical scriptures around picking a side. I picked one, and it's this one. It's a peace side. It's a prayer side. It's a I don't fight side. I don't have to prove I didn't do anything when you accused me, when you shouldn't have accused me anyway, because you didn't have a right to judge. And I know I'm innocent, but yet you decided that it was okay to put handcuffs on me and take my life away for 2 weeks because of a system and some bullies within it, or something like that, right? I have to wear an ankle bracelet. I'm a good person. Right? That's how I said I would reference my stuff sometimes. That comes from a family court case where I tried to do everything the right way for the children, never brought up anything bad to my children about anybody else, always steered clear of saying anything negative about anybody else who was doing bad things to me. Always did that. At every turn, tried to make things better. Took finances out of my situation, I thought, in offering to pay 2 years in advance, above and beyond what a court would agree an alimony payment would be, to make sure my family was taken care of and we could focus on the relationships in this new family dynamic that only got worse when I went to court. Because what court did was, due to some injustice and some corruption, ultimately led me to jail. Because I wanted to see my kids. I never got angry. I never hurt anybody. I never limited, withheld, or did anything with anything bad intention. Every one of my efforts was good and wholehearted, with love, for a broken situation. Yet I find myself going through the system, right? So that's how I reference my story. Now, I pray for all those who've betrayed me, hurt me, anybody who's had any lies or wished ill will on me. I've seen white lights. I've been attacked physically. I've been harassed. I've been threatened. I've had violence put on me where I put my hands behind my back and said, I don't fight. Unprovoked. Checking out on a line at the supermarket. I got unjustly arrested for something that was a bench warrant that I didn't even know about, in a corrupt lie saying that there was an order of protection on me because I did something wrong. And I haven't even seen the person who said I did something wrong in months. And in fact, they're referencing a police report that I filed because I hadn't heard from my kids and the school's calling me, and I'm trying to work with the guidance counselor to say this is embarrassing me. But nobody's getting back to me. So on Thanksgiving, I went over because no one's getting back to me. Nobody answered the door, so I went down to the police station. Now, I did have some words with my older son on the steps, but I love him very much. And it was just tough love, saying, hey, guy, I see that you're out here, and we haven't even had a good relationship, and I love you so much. So maybe my tone was loud with him, but But it was just fatherly love, because I love that guy. I love my son. I love my kids so much. That's what I went through for them. So I went down to the police station and I said, I'm concerned nobody's getting back to me and the school's calling. I filed a police report to do a wellness check. So the police, Garden City Police, went down there. My name is the victim, and it says no incident. That was taken by somebody and put an order of protection on me, which I didn't know about because nobody alerted me to it. And then they put me in jail, a holding cell, in December for the holidays when I never saw my family. Because of all this, because my kids think I'm doing bad things. I was just trying to see them, and I love them. So I go to jail, holding cell. I go through the holidays with no family calling me whatsoever, and I did try to reach out, and it's just tough. I'm over it now. You could still see the emotion in me. I'm not angry or mad, but yeah, you should see the emotion in me. You should know this is real. You should also hear the love and the care that I have for people. I hear the dog barking because someone's trying to distract me right now. I'm not letting that happen. I'm finishing this video. So I come out of that situation. I say, I'm going to go get away, create my boundary. I took that dog that's barking, who I love. Animals will be another video. And we took a drive to Florida during the cold of the winter in New York, and I made myself better by drawing some boundaries. And when I came back, I did not know, but I found out there was a bench warrant or something for me. And on a beautiful day when I was feeling high and great and recovering from all this pain and traumatic experience, somebody knocked on my door. Somehow got past the security at the front desk, which is supposed to call up, but they came into a different door to sneak attack me. And when they did, he was only holding a piece of paper that had my picture on it. And the week before, I was attacked in Stop and Shop, unprovoked, no words, physically assaulted, and I put my hands behind my back. And weeks before that, I was assaulted in Florida. And other times I've been threatened. And I live in a very public place, and I've had people try to threaten me. I'm not scared of anything. I'm peaceful. So I just walk around, and I'm not worried if it happens again, because I know it's not. God's on my side. And I have full faith and trust and believe that. And I have no ill will on anybody, so nobody should want to hurt me. I've done nothing wrong. But I get through that experience, and these guys knock on my door. They only have a picture of me. I don't see any badges. They're in plain clothes. Ed Kenna, who are you? Starts to push his way in. I said, no. And I said, I don't know who this is. And I was attacked the week before. I put my hand on the door. Please, no. We have a warrant for... I go, I don't know what you're talking about. There's two of them. Now, the other one starts pushing the door in, putting hands on me. So can you show me a badge? Can you show me that? I showed you the piece of paper. I haven't seen anything. I'm just going like this. I never even hit anybody. I was just using my arms to get away from them. And I'm pretty strong, and I never put any physical on it. I just squirmed. And then he put me in the Floyd choke, which impacted my respiratory system, my neck, and hurt me. Terribly hurt me. And I was screaming. And so now we have witnesses, potential cameras that show the whole thing. And what happens here is, in this instant, this gentleman decides to tell a story saying, I hit his partner. I didn't hit his partner. If I hit his partner, I am strong. And there was a period in my life when I did hit back. And when I hit back, you would notice. I didn't hit his partner. I didn't hit his partner. I did not hit his partner. How's that? And so what they did was, this guy brings me down to the station. I saw him make up the report. He smirked at me when he told me he's putting charges on me. I said, I didn't do that. He goes, good guy. I pray for him that he learns from his mistake, whether it be now, here, heaven and earth, or in judgment, where he can understand these things. And I hope he comes through it stronger, better, and a better person, because you can't do this to people. It's not right. It's wrong. It's terrible. I'm a human being with feelings, emotions, and I have a right to my free will in living my life. And what you've done to me is horrendous. Not only that, you put me in jail. So now I'm in jail. Innocent man. I have that beautiful dog who I love, who I just dropped off to get her hair done. She's only on my mind. They wouldn't let me use the phone for 72 hours, never read me my Miranda rights, shuffled me around, treated me as if I was the worst criminal. Now, some people were nice in there, but mostly no. It was just like, here, because they're in the system, they're just dealing it, they're just pushing you through, and you're not going to get any care or compassion there. So I didn't get any care or compassion. Nobody cared about my situation, that I was unjustly arrested, and I needed to find out what's going on with my dog, and I wanted to get out of there. And quite honestly, the story played out that I was served. I'm sitting there waiting for visitors. Ed Kenna, I'm in my jail cell. Somebody's here? Yeah, we got someone here to see you. Oh my God, I'm excited. I get up. Who's it gonna be? I don't know this guy. He's walking to me. He's got a stack of papers. This hands into me. He serves me with a motion for divorce court for money. Wow. That hurt. I'm over it. That's not care and compassion. That's not humanity, especially on unjust charges. And remember, this whole thing just streams from me not doing any crime, from me actually making a report that I'm concerned I haven't heard from my kids. But I haven't raised my voice. I haven't been violent. I haven't threatened anybody. Yet somehow that story could be made up, and all that pain and horror I can go through and still sit here today with an ankle bracelet on, right? An ankle bracelet on. Everyone's given fair opportunity to understand the story, and I know the officials in the government understand this story. Yet they decide to dig their feet in and keep bullying and keep pushing. I don't know why, but I do, because I know. And I say, God, what do you want me to do? Keep being you. Okay. So I don't fight back. But I have a voice, so I speak it. And I speak it and I don't put people down. And I don't put names to it. Because I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to make everything better. So, wow. Phew. I guess you saw the emotion in me. And hopefully you understand that it's real. Because now I can tell you full faith and trust that I don't care about that. I just want it to end. Because I know from experience that I don't wish ill will on anybody. But the way we are designed as a universe is the law of return is going to happen. I signed up to be a better person with God a long time ago. And in doing so, I mentioned in an earlier video, some of these painful lessons, you come out stronger. I'm coming out stronger and better. And every one I go through, I come out stronger and better. Because I'm full faith and trust, committed to who I am, a good person with strong moral values, who's made mistakes, who's owned them, who has not been the perfect saint all my life. No. But I've learned through those lessons. When I learned through those lessons, I've gotten better, and I've committed to better, and I've stayed better, and I continue to grow and keep doing that, bringing me to these videos. Really tough things I've been through, and I'm going to guarantee if you've stuck around this long, you've probably been through something too. Either that or you're concerned about my story, which you shouldn't be. If you're here and concerned about a part you play in my story, I pray for you. I want you to feel better. The best thing you can do is do what I'm doing. Just say I made a mistake. And start to own it, accept it, so you don't have to walk around with that heavy burden of that bad thing you did. Get through it. Evolve. Grow. Show the world your part in the story, that you made a mistake, and you're going to do things better moving forward. And I think we're all going to applaud you for it, and we're going to love you too. Just do it. I'm not here threatening lawsuits or money, because it's not about money. It's about humanity. It's about doing the thing that's right. And when I come out of this, God's saying, are you learning more? Yeah. Well, this isn't just you, right? When are you going to start talking about what you're learning? Yeah. I didn't want to. I was scared to. And be judged. What does it matter? I'm doing it respectfully. I'm doing it with grace. I'm doing it with humility. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. And you know what? to the innocent people that are dealing with similar things, that are trying to enlighten and make themselves better, I owe it to them, because in one collective conscious, we are one heartbeat, we are one voice, we are one connection that feels the pain of others. And until we fix the pain and evolve and elevate and raise our energies and start acting better to each other, we're going to feel this. So together we can lift up when we embrace the concept of looking in before we look out. So create the boundaries. So this is a fully authentic video too. You know, like you could see that I still have the passion because I'm still wearing an ankle bracelet, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna badmouth or try to create more of a situation out of a situation I didn't want to begin with. It means I'm gonna do what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna talk about it honestly. I'm not going to deal with threats or intimidation or violence anymore. And I'm going to ask everybody to quietly, if you played a part in this, go think about it. Maybe do the right thing. If you played a part in this and you were silent because you were worried, but you saw it and you know something, just say it. You're going to be better for it, because God says by not saying anything, you know, you're doing something. So he told me, right? In so many ways, in so many words, so many things. That's how this goes. It's real. You can't explain life. You can't explain all these mysteries around us. There's a lot of people that talk about a spiritual connection. There's spiritual connection. There's heaven. There's earth. There's a galaxy. These things are real. There's karma, it's real. And when you get to a point of enlightening and elevating, you really get to a point of saying, well, you know what, I didn't do things great either, and you know, I never wanted to cause pain. You go through that process. That's painful too, because I think about the things, maybe I didn't do it right. I didn't have bad intentions. I didn't do things right, though, at times in my life, and I had to go through the pain of understanding that. I'm not thankful for it. I know I am thankful for the lesson, but I learned from it. I'm not going to do anything that I felt was bad again. I learned from those things, you know. That's the point of this video. I hope it finds the right people who it could help. And, you know, some of the other videos will be, I think the next one will be magical. I'll include my dog and maybe a guitar. And we'll talk about how there's things that you can evolve in your life to help that are like therapy that you might not have seen around you, that can be very soothing and helping, and like, you know, hobbies and things like that that can help you not turn to the alcohol or the marijuana or whatever it is to take your mind off things. These things can help you not only take your mind off, I wouldn't say take your mind off, but put your mind in a better place around things. So I'll talk a little bit about that in the next video. I hope this is helpful and it finds the right people. God bless you. And I'm looking at my guitar, so I was going to play a song, but I see 33 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock. It sounds good to me. Have a great day. And I do love everybody. And I love life. And I love. Have a good day.